What's going on, guys? Jake here for Dude Ranch DIY. Welcome back. This is day 2 of recovery from my little eye procedure that I had done. In one of the last videos, I had mentioned that I had a little eye thing. A lot of people commented. I actually posted that video this morning. A lot of people have commented so far. The eye's doing good. It's a little painful, pretty blurry and watery, but all in all, it's doing good. I got it injured like a little over a year ago at work. I was taking the top out of a tree and a branch kind of whipped back, hit me in the face. I got like 12 or 11 stitches on my lip, and it also got a abrasion on my cornea. So long story short, it was bothering me for the past year. I just thought it was dirt in my eye. Finally went to a specialist, an eye doctor specialist. And they said that there was basically like the equivalent of like a blister or like rough skin, a rough patch that didn't really heal properly. So I had to do what they call a corneal abrasion, where they go in with like a little die grinder kind of thing and like a scalpel and kind of scrape off the layer of the cornea to kind of have it, hopefully all grow back fresh without that rough patch there that was basically bothering me. So thanks to everybody that reached out. In that video, I kind of jumped around doing a bunch of different stuff, and I still can't really do all that much, so I've been kind of bouncing around today, and since I've been getting positive feedback in the comment section, I figured I would start filming and show you kind of what I've been up to, today. So let me show you the first thing that I've done. So a little fall cleanup happened on the big tool rack today. This was long overdue. It's pretty wild. I found 4 full-length big tie-down straps in here. I had no idea I had 4 of them in here. I knew I had this one on there holding the tailgate, but I had no idea that I had 4 in there. I cleaned up, some of my camera gear. I made this new chainsaw bag, and I will put a clip in that right after this. I actually filmed myself taking out all the stuff and putting it in this new bag that I got. So I just kind of organized. It was amazing how much garbage had collected back here just from, the hardware store and packaging of stuff and caps to things. It was all in here, which is good, better than being out on the, woodyard floor or in the woods or something to, kind of pollute the area. But I just pulled so much like plastic wrappers and stuff out of here, little bits to ropes and stuff like that. I also went ahead and made this mat, which is really nice because I have 7 bags of 70-pound tube sand on the bottom of the big tool rack to act as extra weight and ballast for the tractor. And previously, I had nothing covering them. So like leaves and all that garbage and stuff would kind of accumulate. You can kind of see one of the tops to the bag sticking out right there. So I went ahead and made this mat. I cut it and cut out the corners to fit on either side there. And I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be easier to keep track of like little things when it's in the big tool rack and not accumulate so much garbage just down in the little crevices between the bags of tube sand. So that is what I was up to this morning. I also filled the firewood stand. I need to make some more bundles. And I kind of want to address these doors. These doors have been an issue, but let me show you the clip. Ooh, the sun's coming out and that kind of hurts my eye. Just came out from behind a cloud. Let me show you the clip of making this new chainsaw bag, because I think this bag, I got this idea from Doug over at One Eye Customs. I actually reached out to him this morning about the whole One Eye thing, and we were talking back and forth. He's a great guy. I have a lot of respect for him now, temporarily having, one good functioning eye. But here's this chainsaw bag. I got the idea from Doug and Adam over on their channels. Alright guys, so when I went out before to Home Depot, I picked up this Husky tool bag thing, and you'll see why. This is the toolbox that I use to carry all of my chainsaw gear, chains, files, wedges, Mingo marker stuff, all the tools chainsaw related, and as you can see here, unfortunately, I kind of ran it over the other week with the tractor. I put it back behind the tractor, totally forgot it was there, hopped on, backed over it. So it has seen better days. This box has lasted me quite a while, but it's time to replace it. So My hope is that I saw over on Doug's channel, One Eye Customs, go check him out if you haven't already. He used a bag similar to this. You can see it has lots of pockets on the inside and on the outside for all of your various stuff. And my hope is that I can fit my gas, my oil, and all the contents of this box. I used to like keep in this crate, but my bar oil doesn't really fit in this crate. So I'm hoping that all of this stuff I can consolidate into this one, tool bag. All right, we got our new chainsaw bag all set up here for the most part. We got our little bang-in chainsaw vise right here. Got a couple wedges right there. I have more in the big tool rack. Got our mix gas, oil, 2 chains for the 25, 1 chain for the topper. Nice new marker to mark your chains when you're sharpening. Got your hatchet to bang in your wedges. Got the extra wheel for the Mingo marker. All of our hand tools are right here, from hand files, round files, flat file right here. We got an extra file handle down in there. Got a couple scrunches with both the slot and the Torx that are needed for some of the other screws on most of the Stihl saws. Got an extra scrunch just in case. And then we got all 3 of our Stihl 2-in-1, chainsaw chain sharpeners. So I think this bag is going to work out really well, just because it's all in one thing and you can kind of see where everything is all at once without having to dig through, a conventional toolbox like this. You can see this one got pretty dirty over the years. It's definitely well used, but I think that this new bag will serve its purpose pretty well and help us stay a little bit more organized out there in the woodyard. So, like everything else in this house, it is old. This house was built in 1927, and I don't think these doors are much older than that. Maybe the glass is a little bit newer because it's not quite as wavy, but these doors have seen some use here. I love these doors. Having them gives me so much access here in the basement, but over time you can see there have been a lot of different locks and deadbolts and stuff, and just ways to keep the doors closed. This is one of my latest for the winter, to just keep the heat out and keep a nice tight seal. But I would like to eventually replace these doors with something a little newer and maybe a little bit more insulated. But for now, we've been doing a lot of projects around the house, so I just want to kind of solidify these doors for the winter and be able to get them so that they're a little tighter seal, so that we don't let out too much heat throughout the winter time. Okay guys, back from Home Depot. Got a bunch of weather stripping, 40-foot worth, 2 big barrel bolts for the door, 1 of these foot bolts, which I'm actually probably going to install up on the on the ceiling, the top part of the door, to keep it shut. And then I got 2 smaller barrel bolts to eventually get mounted up on the big tool rack, so I can take that big yellow ratchet strap off and just use these to keep the tailgate closed. All right, guys, as I got back, I was pulling in the driveway from Home Depot, and there was a truck in the driveway with 2 kids actually loading up a loose stack of firewood, and it looked like the father was actually sitting in the cab of the truck. So that's pretty awesome. Child labor in effect. I can't wait till I have a couple kids someday to help me out in the wood yard. But that being said, I filled up the firewood stand this morning with 3 loose stacks. We currently have 0 bundles in there, so I brought up a fresh bundle tote. I've been holding off putting it in the garage because I bought 4 more of those big like off-road casters that I have on the current pallet dolly. Casters just like you see here, and I have another blue pallet out in the wood yard, so I want to make a second firewood dolly. That way I can have 1 for the wood that I burn in the wood stoves, and then wheel a second over here. So I've been holding off putting that IBC tote of bundle wood in here. I could push it in here with the tractor, but then to get it out and lift it up on the pallet dolly once those wheels come, they're scheduled to come today. So I've kind of been waiting, but I need to put some bundles out because clearly people are buying firewood even though it's a Tuesday. So I'm gonna move this pallet over, or tote over in front of the garage, and we're gonna bundle up some wood quick. I think this stuff is the most expensive liquid by volume, like on the planet. More than diesel, more than oil. Hey Lou, you enjoying the fire, buddy? You got a sock on your paw? Louis cracked one of his pads on his paw. So we've been putting a mid-calf sock on him with some electrical tape. Isn't that right, bud? All right, guys, just loaded up the bundles in the roadside stand here. Firewood has been flying out of these things. Just today alone, we sold 2 loose stacks and 1 bundle. Yesterday, we sold like 5 bundles out of here. So this thing is like printing cash. I picked up this Milwaukee M18 battery-powered blower from Home Depot the other day, just because I wanted to do the gutters and I didn't want to have to haul the backpack blower up there. I thought this would be safer and just blow all the leaves off the roof. And this thing is awesome. I love having it so far for just keeping it down in the basement, blowing out the garage or the basement just like you saw there, all the leaves and stuff that come out of the totes. Highly recommend one of these. I can't let all this good scrap and kindling go to waste, so this was out of one of the totes that I filled up the firewood stand with. So instead of sending it for kindling or just burning up in the wood yard in the barrels, a lot of it's pretty chunky good stuff. I can just throw this stuff in the wood stoves and in turn it'll heat the house. All right, guys, as you can see, it's getting pretty dark, so we will check back in tomorrow. We'll probably start things off with working on the garage doors. I already checked the oil in this to see if the coolant was leaking, like through the head gasket into the motor itself or into the oil, and it wasn't, but I'm just gonna check it again for the hell of it because somebody in the comments suggested it. So our oil is right here. I don't know if you could tell. Granted, the truck is cold, but it's, you know, actually kind of on the lower side of the full mark. The truck is kind of on a slant now, and as I said, the truck is cold. Coolant is not leaking into the oil, which I'm kind of happy about. I will have to add some oil to the truck. While we got this open, let's check on the coolant level itself. So yeah, coolant is right basically where I left it. Truck hasn't moved for like 2 days, and I don't see any leaks. So we're gonna get to work on this door. Now, I was looking at it and somebody had put weather stripping in here, you know, of some kind a really, really long time ago, it looks like. I don't know if you can see that, but it's in pretty bad shape. There's also some weather stripping on this door on the right over here, but it's only on the top. So my plan is to take off all this old weather stripping and, you know, just basically totally replace it. The sun is super bright right now and like coming right down, pointing at the door. So it's making it really hard, one, for me to see the cameras, and two, just for me to see in general with this eye the way that it is. That's why I'm wearing these sunglasses right now. So I'm probably not going to get much of this putting on the weather stripping filmed, but once it's all up, we'll you know, check back in. All right, that actually went on pretty well, and I'm pretty happy with the way that it's sticking. Disabled it after I pulled this off, but oh well. All right, I pulled it off this spot just because the paint is flaking pretty bad on this hinge here, and it didn't really want to stick. So I'm gonna pull off the flakes of paint that are on this sticky thing, and for this section, I'm just gonna super glue it here and super glue that little tab up there to hold it in place. I think that should help. Okay, we got the weather stripping all glued in place and all the paper pulled off, going all the way around. Now, this stuff, I might have gone a little too thick. I think this stuff was 7/16 of an inch thick. Maybe I should have gone a little less. I guess I thought that the gap was slightly larger than it actually is, because now, I mean, it's making a really good seal, but now in order to close the doors, they kind of hit each other because they're pushed out, and you can see there's like a gap up there. If I didn't have a camera in my hand, I could pull it, you know, tighter. But so I like the fact that they're as tight as they are, because it's making a nice seal. And when you kind of close them from the outside, kind of, let's see if I can do it with one hand, like this, you can see they close and it's pretty tight. But I want to make it a little bit easier because I think that's actually going to do more harm than good, especially up at the top here. So just went out and got my orbital sander, put some 60 grit on there, and we're going to sand it down a bit and see if we can create a little less resistance. I got my dust mask on because I'm guessing that this paint is pretty old, and there's probably a pretty good chance that it could contain some lead. So we're going to take some precautions here. All right, that went right in with those new holes. So while it's in place here and latched, I'm just gonna tighten up these screws the best that I can. And then I'll open back up the door and sink them in with the drill. But I left a little play in there to let it find its natural seat. Okay, that latch is much easier now than it used to. I used to really have to kind of force it and like torque on the door. I think the more that this foam weather stripping gets compressed, the easier it's going to be. So, you know, you can see it's already kind of coming in through the crack, which is great. I think the top looks pretty darn good too. I don't see any spots of daylight. So now we just have to work on this second door and getting it closed. Ideally, I would like to not have to close them like independently of each other. Like, see, this is hitting right there. So we need to sand that down a bit more. All right, I noticed that this part's hitting at the bottom. It's also separating a little bit, so I'm gonna clamp it together and then drive a couple screws in there to hold it. So, there. Those, all three just barely poked through, but this is nice and solid. Now I can work on sanding this down. Might even be worth it to just take the hacksaw and chop some off on the bottom, because it's a pretty significant hit right there to do with the chisel or the sander. Look at that. Now they close. Now they close real well. Huh. Look at that. I think that was our problem. The bottom closes. We still gotta do a little work up here. Okay, so we got a pretty good close seal on this door now. From the inside, you can see the top still doesn't want to pull in all the way. So I think if I get another one of these, you know, handles and install it up here, I can close this door on the right first and then have a handle to kind of pull on both at the same time and pull in this top. Okay, we're back from the hardware store, and after a lot of trial and error, I think I finally got this door to a point that I'm pretty happy with. It's not really rubbing. I mean, maybe a little bit down in here, but really not all that much. And we're getting a nice seal on it. So I might do a little bit more sanding. It's been a lot of back and forth trial and error, but it does look like in this general area, I could hit this a bit and sand it down. And then I think we're ready to install the handle on the inside and the latches. Oh yeah, that last little bit right in here where you can see the paint's sanded away, that just did it. Look at this seal. Nice and flush for the most part. I mean, with this top part we know needs to be brought in. That's why I have that other pin in there, but I'm really happy with that. We can reinstall this to help keep it in place while we're inside. I found so many, well, at least these old nails and screws just in the driveway, like right there from, must have been, you know, about 100 years of people going in and out. First thing I want to do is install this handle somewhere, you know, like here. That way I can help pull this door closed in order to get that other thing mounted up there. yeah, so now we're able to grab it up here and make a real nice seal up at the top for that other pin that we're gonna install. All right, so I don't like this. I thought this would work, but I couldn't find one like identical to this. And basically this one, you have to drill a hole up into, it's designed to go on the floor and be, you know, up. Right now it's upside down. And it's not far, it doesn't have enough clearance on this beam to get a full hole in there. We'd be like drilling into like 3/4 or 2/3 of the beam. So I'm gonna take this off, and instead I got 2 of these barrel bolts. My intention is to fix this one, which I've already welded a couple times. Like it doesn't, this one's garbage. Put one here, and then I'm thinking I can put another one right up here to hold the top of the door in tight. Because when you pull on this, you can get it flush, like no problem. I don't know if you could see that, but yeah, this thing just isn't gonna work for me. All right, we got the top one installed. We got the bottom one installed. They're both locked. I don't have this latch on, but this doesn't keep the door very tight anyway. And look at the seal that we got up here. I mean, I don't see any daylight coming in along this top seam. We are nice and tight. And along here, I mean, you see a little bit of daylight up there, but then coming down, you don't really see anything until the very bottom, right down there. There's like a little gap. I'm gonna call this a win. I mean, I guess I could get a really thin weather stripping or something to put a little bit up there and at the bottom, but I mean, I think this came out pretty good. Now, I guess the true test, the proof is in the pudding here. Oh yeah, wow, that one, okay, unlocked. This one, wow, that's really easy, unlocked. So now, yeah, look at that. So now if I close it from the outside, I can always use this latch right there, you know, when I'm working outside. But I think that's a win. I'm surprised. I thought there was going to be a lot more effort to get this to close, but I did do a lot of sanding. But okay, so we're pulling it closed here. This one won't close all the way, but that's why we put this handle here. Give it a little zets, and now it closes no problem. This one closes no problem. And this lock, boom, all closed up, all sealed up. That's great. I think that's going to help keep a lot of heat in the house, and it also adds, you know, obviously some extra security by having 2 deadbolts and 1 padlock. So I am very happy with that. Well, all right, guys, I think that might wrap this one up. Still waiting on those darn 3 casters for the other pallet, IBC tote pallet dolly that I want to build to get that bundlewood in here. I just sold another loose stack. I helped an older gentleman load it up. he like backed totally onto our lawn. He had his car like right on the lawn. So I went out and gave him a hand loading up a $20 loose stack. So the wood is definitely flowing. The air is not going to be flowing anymore through our basement, garage door, barn doors down here, whatever you want to call them. I'm really happy with the way that this turned out. It definitely took a little bit more time and thinking. You know, it wasn't as simple as I thought it was going to be, as most projects typically turn out to be on this channel. So, you know, I learned a couple things. Maybe this will, you know, help somebody. But I'm just glad that we're not going to feel like a cold draft coming in all winter long through these doors. So as always, guys, if you liked the video, give it a big old thumbs up. We've been getting a lot of likes and new subscribers and everything to the channel. The channel's been doing great. We're almost at 12,000 subscribers. Actually, by the time that I post this video, we will probably already be at 12,000 subscribers. So that is awesome. If you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button down below. You can be 12,001. Any questions, comments, or feedback, put it down in that comment section. But for now, I'm Jake. This is Dude Ranch DIY. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you here next time.